A 3-month-old baby tested positive for meth. Doctors say the dose was so high the baby might have died.
Now detectives are looking to the child's mother for answers. And deadly wildfires are forcing thousands of people from their homes in Southern California. We look at the damage so far and what firefighters are up against.
So the landing itself was the best roller coaster ride I have ever been on in my life.
Plus, she spent 6.5 months aboard the International Space Station. Now, Spokane native Ann McLean is back home. I sat down with her to talk about that once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
Good to have you with us. I'm Jane McCarthy. A Spokane mother is under investigation after her 3-month-old baby tested positive for methamphetamine.
Doctors at Sacred Heart say the baby's intoxication level was so high the baby could have died. KREM 2's Amanda Rowley joins us live now with more on what we know so far. Amanda?
Mark and Jane, we learned from Spokane County Court documents the baby's grandparents have cared for him since there was meth found in his system at birth in July. But after he was released from the hospital, he's only had supervised visits with his birth mother. According to court documents, on Tuesday, a Spokane County deputy got a call from a social worker at Sacred Heart. She told him that same baby was admitted to the emergency room and again tested positive for meth. Docs say the baby's grandparents initially took him to the Valley Hospital on Monday after a supervised visit with his mother. But an ambulance then rushed him to Sacred Heart. The social worker said the baby was acting strangely when he was returned to his grandparents, and the baby's grandmother denied using meth, but suspects he ingested it while with his mother. Court records say a Caring Hearts employee who supervised the visit between the baby and his mother said she watched him constantly and never saw his mother smoke or ingest drugs. A doctor at Sacred Heart told investigators the baby was at risk of organ failure or potential death because of the high levels of meth intoxication. The baby's mother admitted to investigators she was a meth user and had relapsed over the weekend. Records show the mother insists she does not know how the baby would have come in contact with the drug during the visit. And to be clear, the mother has not been officially charged, but investigators expect to learn more about this case after executing a search warrant of the mother's home. Reporting from Sacred Heart Medical Center, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
A lot of them been using my name and doing money.
Thank you.
Pretending they're me.
Well, that is part of a 911 call where the murder suspect, Judith Carpenter, told dispatchers that someone was trying to steal her identity. She made that call the same day she's accused of killing 78-year-old Shirley Ramey inside her Hope, Idaho home back in 2017. It's not exactly clear why Carpenter made those claims to police, but it's just one of the things she told authorities in her calls to them. Our Taylor Vito has been listening to those calls. We'll have what else the murder suspect said coming up new at 6 tonight.
So the landing itself was the best roller coaster ride I have ever been on in my life. I heard that it was a mix of, the spinny cups at the fair, a roller coaster, and sitting inside of a washing machine. And it didn't disappoint. It was incredible.
That's quite the description right there.
Yeah.
That is Spokane native and astronaut Ann McLean talking about transitioning from more than 17,000 miles per hour to a stop when coming back to Earth on the International Space Station in late June.
McLean was kind enough to talk with me this morning before receiving a YWCA Women of Achievement Award in Spokane. One of her newest missions, I found out, is to encourage others to reach for the stars the way she did. Welcome home.
Thank you. It's good to be home.
Ann McLean says there's really no place on earth she'd rather be than in Spokane right now. The last time she saw her hometown was from aboard the International Space Station.
And I wasn't used to how fast we go in the space station. This is the first week I was up there. And I was looking down telling my crewmate I'm trying to take a picture of Spokane, and he said, well, is it in Minnesota? And he said, because that's where we are. And I was like, oh my goodness, we were just over Seattle 3 minutes ago, and now we're over Minnesota.
Clearly, she learned to capture some incredible snapshots.
You always look back at where you came from.
And she's happy to share those and her experiences with students at her alma mater, Gonzaga Prep.
To me, I just have to pinch myself that I'm not still one of the students sitting on the bleachers. But I also know that for me, when I was sitting on the bleachers, all of my dreams seemed so far away. And so whatever I can do to try to reach out to those students and make them realize that the world really is within their grasp, like they really can go do it. So rugby has surprisingly helped me a lot as an astronaut.
Today, she receives a YWCA Women of Achievement Award for demonstrating women have an important place in the science, technology, and environmental industries. It's an honor from an organization for which she has much respect.
It really speaks to the power of what passionate women can do who chase their dreams, no matter what that passion is.
McLean's passion has clearly propelled her to great heights, and her 6.5 months aboard the International Space Station changed her perspective on this planet and the people who call it home.
Like, I feel so connected to everybody on Earth now. Like when I was out on the spacewalk, people say, well, did you feel so far away? And to me, it was just the opposite, because when I looked at Earth, it was right there. We're holding onto the space station, I could see Earth, but when I looked the other direction, it was the most infinite forever that you can possibly imagine. And I felt very connected to Earth by this invisible thing called gravity, luckily, that holds up.
McLean tells me her time in space really deepened her appreciation about working with people from other countries and cultures. She also realized a new calm she'd never experienced before.
So when you get back to Earth, the first thing I noticed was how busy everything was. You know, there's cars everywhere, there's information everywhere, there's phones and emails and calls and people talking to you, and you know, it's this sensory overload that we have all really gotten used to.
McLean says she's still getting used to life back on Earth, a physical adjustment that can take about 6 months. And while her perspective on many things has changed, there's one thing she knows for sure. Each of us is capable of moving mountains if that's what we choose to do.
Most of us have dreams that are pretty lofty, and they're so far from where we're starting out, you know, and so it can seem overwhelming. But it's waking up every morning if you have a dream and just doing one thing in that day to get you a little bit closer. And the culmination of all those small actions really can take you to incredible places.
Clearly, she knows of what she speaks.
It's incredible stuff. And you look at the pictures where she's at the ISS in space, and then you're sitting there right next to her talking to her, and she just seems so normal.
Oh, she's absolutely gracious.
Yeah.
It was fascinating to talk with her. Really
My goodness. And what a role model for people in Spokane to look up to, right?
Yes.
Here's someone from Spokane who did it.
Yes, and she's generous with her time to do that.
Yeah.
So we thank her for chatting with us.
Yeah, great story, Jane. Thank you. Well, legendary cosmonaut Alexei Leonov has died. He was 85 years old. Leonov was the first human to walk in space, and he was later the commander of the Russian Soyuz spacecraft that docked with a NASA Apollo capsule. A historic moment during the Cold War. Leonov was widely respected within the international space community. Astronauts say he will be greatly missed.
It's been pretty crazy to watch. It's moving really fast, so we're just hoping everyone's safe, and we're in the process of evacuating.
Several wildfires ripping through parts of California now. Tens of thousands of people are fleeing that area. One of the fires burning near Los Angeles destroyed dozens of homes and shows no sign of slowing down. Another fire southeast of Los Angeles wiped out an entire mobile home park. One person was killed in that fire. Another person died of a heart attack when he saw fire moving through his neighborhood.
Strong winds and spreading embers across the area, igniting more fires. Fire crews now working frantically to try to keep up, but the fires are just moving too fast. Well, with the wildfires and massive power outages, many people are wondering if people living in California will have cell phone service to call for help.
Here's what our Verify team found. In recent years, with fires across the state, the California Public Utilities Commission urged cell providers to install backup power in high-risk locations. Many of them did that. Major providers like Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile should have service. So if you need to get a hold of a loved one there, you should be good to go.
Back here at home, about 150 people are still in the dark tonight. Here is an updated look at the Avista outage map. Big difference, though, from when the snowstorm first hit earlier this week and 31,000 customers lost power.
KREM 2's Shayna Walltower spent the day in neighborhoods without power. She'll have more on the challenges people there are facing. That's tonight at 6.
All right, time now for Tom's Tailgate. The Chief, Tom Sherry, back on the road tonight.
Always fun. He joins us live from the Grangeville St. Mary's game. Tom?
Oh my goodness, you guys. I am beautiful out here in beautiful St. Mary's, Idaho, and I tell you, it is a gorgeous day. I'm with great people. We've got the grilled cheese machine up here from France. They're out here making free grilled cheese sandwiches. How were they? Oh, we got more. We got more to come. We got more to come. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you the St. Mary's Lumberjacks. Oh, good-looking group. And this group traveled 3 hours right here. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Grangeville Bulldogs. And we actually have a bulldog.
Yeah, we do.
And what is the bulldog's name?
Her name is Freya.
Freya. Now, I have to, in all fairness, we have to say that you're the only high school student. You guys are middle school and grade school, right?
Yeah.
But soon to be bulldogs, right?
Yeah.
So now you're bull pups. Is that pretty much what we got going on? Okay. And we love this Freya. How old is Freya?
I think Freya's about 1.
About 1 year old. Good job, Freya. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of weather. You guys ready for the weekend? Yeah. Oh, man, are we ever ready for the weekend? And hopefully not like we had before. Did you guys get snow down here, too, like we did? Yeah. Oh, we got hammered up there. On the South Hill, 5 inches of snow. But, boy, it looks beautiful. No snow around here right now. All right, let's go to the weather, shall we, folks? Take a look at the Pacific satellite picture. We've got more sunshine in your Saturday forecast, and we'll go from that to a look at the weekend forecast. So for Saturday, I'm calling for sunny and a high of 58. Grangeville, you'll be in the low 50s and mid 50s expected here in St. Mary's. We take a look now at your football forecast, ladies and gentlemen. A great night to get out and check out the games in your communities. Here in beautiful St. Mary's, you'll see temperatures dropping down into the 40s, which is perfect football weather, right? Yeah. In the 40s. You want it to be a little cool. Okay, that's what I like. All right, we are back here live now, St. Mary's, Idaho, located on the banks of the shadowy St. Joe River. It's absolutely gorgeous. You guys are growing up in a great place, right?
Yeah.
You guys do you go out and play around? Do you go boating on the St. Joe?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
And so we call it the shadowy St. Joe, but it is shadowy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, enough of that. It is time now for a segment we call
Get to Know a High School Student.
I love how you did that. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Taylor. Step up here, Taylor. Oh, Taylor. Taylor, you're a senior in St. Mary's, right?
Yeah.
You're a lumberjack.
Yeah.
So, Taylor, the folks at home would like to get to know you, and you want to get to know them, right?
Yeah.
So, friends, Taylor, friends.
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you. See? Told you she was going to be, that's this whole Idaho thing. Okay, any hobbies or interests?
So I'm the wrestling stats girl here at St. Mary's.
Okay.
And I was a cheerleader last year, and now I'm in ASB.
Oh, you are? Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
You're having a good career. If you could fly anywhere in the world after the game, where would you go?
Hawaii for the warm weather.
Oh, that's a good answer. Is that a good answer? Will you take any of your friends?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you better, huh? How about if you had a superpower, what would it be?
I would wish to be invisible.
Oh, okay. Any reason? Just.
I liked Violet off of The Incredibles.
That's a good answer. Okay, what is one thing that your friends may not know about you that they might be surprised to learn?
So my dad's actually the wrestling coach, and him and my brother convinced me to wrestle for 3 days last year. And then I decided I didn't like it. Kind of broke their hearts, but.
Oh, did you guys know that she went out for the wrestling team? No. Wow. That was as a junior, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, well done. We got to know a high school student. I love that. Okay, we're coming up a little bit later. In about 10 minutes, we'll have a look at your 10-day forecast. We'll do a segment we call My Town. We'll learn what's great about Grangeville and St. Mary's. That's all coming up. Don't go away. Back to you.
Weather looks a lot nicer than it's been lately for Tom, right? His tailgates.
He's been through a couple of
No
rough
kidding.
ones.
Getting kind of a break.
Beautiful night.